shows, and specifically one of them is so near and dear to my heart. And to this day, I don't know if I've met someone who's seen it, but we'll get to that. There's 11 to go through, so quite a bit. I have pulled them up right here on my iPad, so if I keep looking this way, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just looking at my iPad. But let's start with the first one, which this may be actually popular. Oh, by the way, I meant to say, these are all niche, so you may have heard of them, you may have not heard of them. The first one you most likely have, because I'll be surprised if you haven't, maybe. But I've tried not to include any Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, or Naruto, depending on how you say it. I've tried not to include any Winx Club or anything of the sort that is usually mainstream and that people have watched. I've tried to keep it as niche as I could, more or less. You'll see. So the first one is Doraemon, which, if you don't know, this is basically a giant blue cat. I've pulled up IMDb, which reads Doraemon is a robotic cat that comes from the 22nd century. He comes to the 20th century and stays with Nobi family. The Nobis love Doraemon very much, so Doraemon always helps the Nobis with the devices from the 22nd century. So it's not just the Nobis, I think it's one child in particular that he helps, not the parents necessarily. And growing up watching this show, man, I mean, your imagination would be all over the roof. I remember vividly one episode, and I don't know why this is stuck in my head, but I remember vividly one episode where Doraemon gives the kid, who I can't even remember the name right now, but gives the kid boots that can make steps on air, so maybe you can like walk on air or like take steps. I don't know why, but that one is just imprinted in my head. Also, I want to do an honorable mention for a TV show that I haven't included, which is Detective Conan, which I think hopefully people know about it, but if you don't, let me put you on. So this is the first one, Doraemon. Getting back to the second one, now this is the anime or cartoon that it's near and dear to my heart. This, in English, apparently it's Attacker You, but the way that I know it is Mila e Shiro. So this is all about volleyball, and to recheck your memory, if you do remember it, in Italian, the sigla, or how is it called, the intro song would be Mila e Shiro due cuori nella pallavolo. And I pronounced that as horribly as I could, but basically just to say Mila e Shiro, 2 hearts in volleyball. It reads on IMDb, it reads, Mila is a girl who grew up in the countryside and moves with her father to Tokyo, where she joins the Hikawa team, discovering that she has a lot of talent for volleyball. This show is a masterpiece, okay? I haven't seen it since I was a child. I just remember the introduction song or the opening song so well that it is stuck in my head. So the next one that I wanted to talk about is, you may or may not heard of it, okay? And this is in the era where Pokemon was big. So back in the day, you would either like this show or Pokemon. And this is Digimon, Digital Monsters. I like this so much better. I never got into Pokemon, and I think it's because, so I also have an older brother, so anything I watched, he watched, and he loved Digimon, so I only watched it with him. And on IMDb it reads, a group of young teens is unexpectedly sent to the mysterious digital world and paired up with their own powerful morphing monster called Digimon. Together the entire group set out on an adventure to fight evil and save the world. It's basically like Pokemon but cooler. I mean, it's much cooler. Give it a go if you haven't. It's pretty old. I mean, from what I can see in IMDb, and maybe there are other versions of it, but it says TV series from 1999 until 2007. Now, this next one is also very close to me. This is called Pretty Cure. It's school's lackluster team in this anime series based on the hit manga and video game. I mean, they all have powers. They play soccer. They all have powers. It's pretty incredible. I loved it. My brother, when I was talking to him yesterday, when I told him like what video I would make, he said, "Oh, there are others out there that are even better than that." I personally don't believe that. I think this is a great TV show. Maybe there are others that are better, but at the same time, this has a special place in my heart. And I think this aired from 2008 to 2011, which sounds pretty late, but maybe that's true. Now this one is also, I think, this is very niche, okay? You either know it or you don't. I knew it because my brother loved it and I loved it. It's called Ultimate Muscle. Yeah, I was gonna read you the legacy, but I don't think the legacy is important. I swear to God, is that a pig? Is he supposed to be a pig? Because I was talking to my brother yesterday and he said he's supposed to be an alien. I thought it was supposed to be a pig. I don't know. This is Kid Muscle. Oh, I think this is all about wrestling. If I'm being very honest with you, I don't know this version that I have. Ultimate Muscle. This version that I have found here, it's not really. I don't think it's the correct one. Yeah, there's no plot, but basically, I think this is all about wrestling and him like. I don't remember it very well, but I do remember the fights, and I remember it was very cool to watch. So if you're into old anime, I don't know if this is too violent, but give it a go. I think it's really good. Now, the next one that I'm gonna talk about, my brother was obsessed with it. It's called Knights of the Zodiac, or if you're Italian or you watch Italian, is I Cavalieri dello Zodiaco. This is a group of young warriors known as saints, each in possession of a cloth guarded by a different constellation, must protect the reincarnation of the goddess Athena as she attempts to keep the earth from being destroyed by evil forces. My brother loved this because he was Sagittarius. He is Sagittarius in real life, so I think the Sagittarius one is the main one. I liked it because I'm a Leo, so the Leo is represented, I think, very well. If I remember it correctly, I thought it was cool. So yeah, my brother was obsessed with this. I think he had figurines about it. I think he rewatched this as an adult. He's obsessed with it, and honestly, I can see why. It's a pretty cool TV show, and if you're into like the constellations and stuff, you might like it as well. Now the next one will feel very strange given everything that I've talked about so far, but this is called Angel's Friends. It's such a cool one. I mean, this is young Angel Raph and her friends guide humans while battling demons tempting them amidst high school life and evil force plots to overthrow both realms. Can the angels save the day from this legendary threat? So it's basically like angels and demons influencing humans and all of that stuff, and there is like a romance between an angel and a demon, which is technically not allowed. It's forbidden, and that like forbidden love, that's a trope that I like, or at least that's a trope that I used to love when I was little. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's because of like when you grow up, the forbidden love trope is the one that you hear of most, like Romeo and Juliet and all of that stuff, even though Romeo and Juliet is creepy as all. But we're not gonna go too deep into that. Now the next one is even more niche that I don't know if anybody knows it. It's called Little Polon or Little Polon. Polon is a musical Greek mythology based Japanese anime series based on the 1977 manga series Olympus No Polon. The anime television niche. I don't know if it's as niche as pollen or as niche as pollen. This is called, in Italian, this is called siamo fatti così. In English, apparently, it's once upon a time, life. I don't know if this is a thing, but hear me out. This show is the reason why I basically know how the body functioned. I watched this when I was a kid, and I swear to God, every time I bring this up, people think I'm insane, because I remember vividly this one episode where I learned how white blood cells work, which basically is when you get a cut, the white blood cells run, but I think in this show they look like construction workers, and they ran where the blood was happening, and they fixed it. You know, that's why you stop bleeding. The white blood cells help. But every time I talk about it, no one knows what I'm talking about, and I feel like I'm losing my mind. Please tell me one of you has watched this. This is such a good show. It's so informative, and if you have kids, make them watch it. You really understand how the body functions, and I genuinely, like, I don't even, it's made in 1987. I don't know how I watched it in 2000 something, but I did. Okay, blame it on Italia Uno. I don't know who to blame it on one of them. And the last one that is also very near and dear to my heart is called Mermaid Melody. Okay, it's about singing mermaids. It says, Luciana Nami, the mermaid princess of the North Pacific Ocean, sets out to land to find the boy she saved from a tsunami wave 7 years ago. She cannot tell him that she's a mermaid, and she must also fight off water demons. It's beautiful. It has every color of the rainbow quite clearly for the mermaids. They all sing. It's good songs. Watch it in Italian. Don't watch it in any other language, because in Italian the songs slap. They're very good. They're very entertaining. But with all of that being said, these are my 11. Some very, very niche. Others popular, maybe. Maybe you've heard of them. Maybe you haven't. There are so many other ones that I thought of including that I didn't. That are, I think, more common. Like, for example, if you've ever seen The Bus on Maggie. I love that show.